So you wanna unmute yourself?
Hey, how's it going, Max?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Great, great, man. Thanks for having me here. I
Of
just
course, bro.
I asked that quick question because as someone that does wholesaling and that's done like 5 to 6 deals, I find
Okay,
myself like just like doing everything, driving for
got it.
dollars. 'Cause usually don't pay for things like lists or anything like that, but driving for dollars, then skip tracing, then doing the cold calls, then walking the properties, getting with the investors. So this year I was thinking about how can I be more efficient with my time and what systems can I potentially implement to save
Yep,
me from certain things or to just move a little bit faster in certain steps of the sales process.
got it. Now I understand totally what you're asking. I love that. That's why I wanted to have you come on. So there's three. There. I call this the cycle of three, and there's like this cycle of three phases, right? That you're in. Okay, I call it the three phases. So you're in the generating prospect phase. So you're out driving for dollars. Then you got to cold call these prospects, and then you got to set up appointments, and then you're in the follow up phase, right? This could be this is where you're following up with your previous contacts, your previous sellers, and then you're in the third phase, which is the closer phase, right? That's where you're going to the sales appointments, you're negotiating your deals. So what I always tell someone, especially as you start to grow and you've done quite a bit of deals now, is that the number one phase that you got to get rid of is the first phase. I know you don't pay for lists, but you could still generate your list, through paying, collaborating with someone. You can have people drive for dollars for you, and do like a deal splitter if you want to pay them, whatever, $5 a lead or however you want to, however you want to structure that so they can bring leads into you. You've done it enough now to where you're able to instruct someone to go out there and do it. It doesn't have to cost you a lot, but that's one part of the first phase. The second part of the phase is that you gotta, I would outsource the cold calling ASAP, because that is I always recommend people, or people that start at wholesaling, like, don't do it right away. You got to do all three things. But at some point, if you're in a position now where you're overwhelmed, you're going to too many sales appointments, you're trying to follow up with previous prospects, and then you're trying to generate more prospects. When you get to that point, the first thing that you got to outsource is the prospecting. It's the generation of opportunities, right? That's what you need to outsource. That's a $4, $6 potentially position, and you got to outsource that. You should only be having leads come into basically into your CRM or wherever, right? A spreadsheet, it doesn't matter. Got to be able to pay someone. That's a $6 job that you're probably in a position now to delegate. The two positions I wouldn't delegate right away is basically the don't delegate acquisitions or the negotiations phase until you got that down and you got your processes for that and all that. And you're gonna have to do some follow-ups for a while until you're saying, hey, I got way too many follow-ups. All I want to do is sales calls. And now you hire that position out as someone that's going to be your lead manager, that's going to follow up and book appointments for you every single time. But you should be outsourcing your prospect generation right now, your lead generation.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I don't mind paying for anything that's gonna help me close more deals. It's just I just wanted to see from your point of view what would be the best thing to start outsourcing because it
Yeah.
is getting a bit overwhelming, but I know that the system works and it's proven, so I just want to be more efficient.
And it'll still continue to work. Remember, because the one thing you don't want to outsource is that last phase, because that's the money maker, right?
Right.
You definitely. I see this. I see a lot of times people make that mistake. Like, right away, I want to get in acquisitions. I want to get a closer, and it's like, no, like that's you. You're like the person, right? Listen, um, my first, like, even when I partnered with Steve, because most of you guys know Steve was my business partner. I was still going to appointments, bro. As Charlie could tell you, I mean, he came to our first workshop. Like, I didn't fill those positions until later time when we had all our processes. So yeah, that's the one thing you don't want to outsource. But lead gen, or sorry, opportunity generation, like, dude, yeah, definitely outsource that, 100%.
Okay.
Max,
Yeah,
what was the second phase you mentioned? I missed that
it's
part.
follow up, follow up. Yeah, the
Okay.
second phase is follow. Yeah. And that's again, that those two, like follow up and the negotiations phase, that's when you start to really like scale and you're spending a little bit more money on marketing, and you don't want to have anything fall through the cracks, right? You want to make sure that everything's being followed up on. You're making sure that you're being you have appointments booked. But definitely phase one is got. I always recommend, if you can do it in 30 days, 60 days, like do it. Like that's yeah. I'm a big believer in that.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate the feedback, Max. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, brother.